Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Dallas MaxWire. I'm Zack Poff. There were a ton of exciting matchups in the Dallas Metroplex last week, but we have to start with the biggest upset of Week 6. The number 16 team in Texas, Mosquite Horn, dropped their first game of the season 31-17 against rival Mosquite. The Skeeters jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first 9 minutes and never looked back. Senior running back Shadavion Reed took the opening snap 75 yards to the house and finished the first quarter with 3 rushing TDs. Reed capped off the night with a game-high 203 yards on the ground. Mosquite Horn took the biggest fall among teams in the top 25 state rankings, dropping 8 spots. The Jaguars had 2 costly first-quarter turnovers, and senior quarterback Destry White was limited to 96 yards through the air with 1 INT. Horn was averaging nearly 50 points a game, 400 total yards, and only had 7 turnovers through their first 6 games, but on Friday night they were limited to 286 yards and had 4 costly turnovers. The reigning District 12 5A champs got their biggest W of the season, improving to 4-3 overall and 2-1 in district play. They faced the 6-0 North Mesquite Stallions next Friday night in another big-time district game. In a matchup of 2 top 25 teams in Texas, number 3 Coppell beat number 18 Hebron 24-14 in the District 5A 5 opener. Junior running back Charles West led the way offensively for the Cowboys with a $157 on the ground and 1 TD. So far this year, West has rushed for over 600 yards with 7 total touchdowns. The Cowboys dominated the time of possession in the second half, holding the rock for 18 minutes and 24 seconds in the final 2 quarters. Senior Solomon Thomas led the way defensively, and the 4-star recruit is one of the best DNs in the country. He is rated as the 34th overall player in the nation on 247's rankings and is the number 2 defensive end overall among this year's class. Hebron only had 3 possessions in the second half, and they resulted in 2 3-and-outs and a turnover. The lone bright spot for Hebron was from their 4-star safety, Jamal Adams. This time he did it on the other side of the rock with 2 grabs for 89 yards and had 2 TDs, one through the air and another on the ground. Adams has offers from Florida, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, and a handful of other primetime D1 schools. Coppell wasn't the only team moving up on the national rankings, as DeSoto moved past Booker T. Washington for the number 1 spot on this week's national rankings. The Eagles reeled off their 6th straight W against Manfield Timberview 55-20. Senior quarterback Desmond White had another impressive performance with 200 yards on the ground and 3 total touchdowns. White is number 1 in the district in passing and rushing yards this year. DeSoto is averaging 50.5 points a game, 500 plus yards, and are winning by an average margin of 33.5 points a game. Another Eagle soared high again this week too. Allen, the number 4 team nationally and the number 3 team on the excellent 25 rankings presented by the Army National Guard, beat Plano East 62-17 in their District 10 5A opener. Kyler Murray had another big-time game, throwing for 276 yards and rushing for another 47 with 4 total TDs. He has led the Eagles to 17 consecutive wins, and they are the only team in the nation to knock off DeSoto over the last 2 years. The Lido Bearcats found themselves ranked in the top 25 Freeman rankings for the first time all season. The Bearcats throttled Fort Wayne Wyatt 84-7 on Friday night and led 70-7 at halftime. Junior running back Jess Anders rushed for 81 yards and 4 scores, and the junior highlight reel Ryan Newsom had 94 total yards with 2 touchdowns, including an 89-yard kickoff return to the house. In the Texas state rankings, the 6-0 Elgin Wildcats cracked the top 25 for the first time all season. They moved up 9 spots to number 25 because of the Simmons crew. Terrell and Daytrain Simmons have been balling out all season long. Terrell has thrown for over 700 yards and has 849 yards on the ground with 19 total TDs. Daytrian has 1,071 total yards with 18 rushing touchdowns this year, averaging over 8 yards a touch and nearly 200 yards a game. Well, that is all the time we have for you here on the Dallas MaxWire. Once again, I'm Zack Poff, and for everything you need to know about football in Lone Star State, just go ahead and go to MaxPreps.com/Dallas, and don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at Dallas MaxPreps.